In today's video, we will look at Poynting vector and electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic wave is a transverse wave. What that means is the oscillating objects, in this case the electric field and the magnetic field, both are perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave and to each other. This represents the velocity of the EM wave. That means if the oscillation of the electric field is in that direction, say along the y-axis, the magnetic field would be oscillating along the z-axis, therefore perpendicular to the electric field. And at the same time, the wave would propagate along the x-axis. So that is the direction of the velocity of this wave. If the electric field vector is along the positive y-axis, the magnetic field will point along the positive z-axis. When the electric field reverses and point along the negative y-axis, the magnetic field will reverse and point along the negative z-axis. So this would maintain the direction of propagation of wave along the x-axis. What that means is the direction of propagation is parallel to the direction of E cross B. When you use your right-hand rule and when you curl from, let's say, the E vector to the B vector, you will see the direction of your right-hand thumb would be pointing along the positive x-axis. In addition to this, there is a definite ratio between the magnitudes of electric field and the magnetic field. It follows in a following manner. The magnitude of the electric field equals the speed of light or the speed of the electromagnetic wave times the magnitude of the magnetic field. We repeat, unlike mechanical waves, which are transverse waves, which need the oscillating particles of a medium, such as water or air, to be transmitted, electromagnetic waves require no medium. What is waving in an electromagnetic wave are the electric field and the magnetic field. We know waves carry energy. Electromagnetic wave is of no exception. The direction of this propagation of energy is the same as the direction of the propagation of wave. So the energy is carried in that direction. We can define a vector quantity that describes both the magnitude and direction of this energy flow rate. It is called the Poynting vector, denoted by the capital S, and this is the definition of it. 1 over mu naught, where mu naught is the permeability of vacuum, times E cross B. Since we know the electric field and the magnetic field is always perpendicular to each other, the magnitude of this Poynting vector can be written in a following manner. Like that, where E is the magnitude of the electric field vector and B is the magnitude of the magnetic field vector. The direction of this Poynting vector is the direction of propagation of the wave. In short, the magnitude of this Poynting vector gives the flow of energy through a cross-sectional area, say A, that is perpendicular to the direction of that propagation of wave per unit area per unit time. What that means is the unit for Poynting vector is watts per meter squared, or joules per second per meter squared. So it's clear it defines the flow of energy per unit area per unit time. An important parameter that is associated with electromagnetic wave is the intensity of that electromagnetic wave. The intensity of the electromagnetic wave is the average value of that Poynting vector. More accurately, the average value of the magnitude of the Poynting vector at a point is called the intensity of the radiation at that point. Let's expand on this a little bit. We have seen that the magnitude of the Poynting vector equals 1 over mu naught times the magnitude of the electric field times the magnitude of the magnetic field. Since we know the electric and the magnetic fields are oscillating, they can be represented using sinusoidal functions. For example, the electric field equals the amplitude times sine kx minus omega t. Likewise, the magnetic field is the amplitude of the magnetic field, Bmax times sine kx minus omega t. We note that these terms are identical because they belong to the same wave. So the wave is traveling along the positive x-axis. If we substitute those expressions for E and B in here, we get the following: E max B max times sine square kx minus omega t. Let's calculate the average value of this function. We can take out all the constants like that, and what we are left with is sine squared. So all we have to do is to compute the average value of sine squared kx minus omega t over one complete cycle. So how do we determine the average value of a sine squared over a complete cycle? That means if you have sine squared x, the average value of the sine squared x can be computed in a following manner. The complete cycle is denoted by the range 0 to 2 pi, and outside you have to divide the integral by 2 pi. This is an elementary integral, and you can show the answer to be half. What that means is this factor has a value of half. So there we go. The average value of the Poynting vector is given by 1 over 2 mu naught, the amplitude of the electric field, times the amplitude of the magnetic field. So according to this definition, this is also the intensity of that electromagnetic wave. Let's look at problem 1. Given that the electric field is 120 Newton per Coulomb, what is the rate of energy flow per unit area? We know the rate of energy flow per unit area is given by the magnitude of the Poynting vector, which is E times B over mu naught. We know what E is, we need to know what B is. E and B are related to each other in a following manner. E equals C times B, where this is the speed of light. So we can write the above equation as E squared over mu naught times C. So let's substitute all the numbers. E is 120 Newton per Coulomb squared. Mu naught is 4 pi times 10 to the power minus 7. That is the permeability of vacuum. Speed of light or speed of electromagnetic wave C is 3 times 10 to the power 8. That is speed in vacuum. And the answer is 38.2 watts per meter squared. Problem 2. A radio station on the surface of the Earth radiates a sinusoidal wave with an average total power of 60 kilowatts. Assuming that the wave is radiated equally in all directions above the ground, find the amplitudes of the electric field and magnetic field at a distance 100 kilometers from the antenna. So the first step is to determine the intensity of this wave. Intensity is given by power over area. Note that it has a units of watts per meter squared. And then we equate that to the average value of the Poynting vector. So let's calculate this number. The power is 60,000 watts, 60 kilowatts that is. The area corresponds to a spherical area with radius 100 kilometers. So that means we are talking about 2 pi r squared, where r is the radius at 100 kilometers. Now it is 2 because we are talking about half of a complete full circle. Because if this is Earth and you have wave transmitted from a point, it would spread out in a circle like that, half of a complete circle. The surface area for such semicircle is that. So the 2 pi r squared would go here. R is 100 kilometers, 100,000 meters square. And the answer is 9.55 times 10 to the power minus 7 watts per meter squared. Now we equate this number to 1 over 2 mu naught, the amplitude of the electric field times the amplitude of the magnetic field. We know the amplitude of the electric field equals the speed of electromagnetic wave c times the amplitude of the magnetic field. Substituting this expression in here, the intensity or the average value of the Poynting vector equals 1 over 2c mu naught em squared, where em is the amplitude of the electric field. The average value of the Poynting vector is this number that we have just calculated. Let's put that in there. We know the constant c and mu naught, and you can determine the amplitude of the electric field. Solving for em, you get 2.68 times 10 to the power minus 2 volt per meter, or Newton per coulomb. Now let's find the amplitude of the magnetic field, Bm. It is the amplitude of the electric field, Em, that we have found here, over the speed of electromagnetic wave. So 2.68 times 10 to the power minus 2 over 3 times 10 to the power 8. And the answer is 8.93 times 10 to the power minus 11 Tesla. And that solves the problem. Thank you for watching.